Hey guys, let's talk about Jackals. I actually started an Instagram page. Someone asked me if I had one for this, and I was like, I don't, but it'd be kind of cool to have one just to kind of keep, up to like what I'm going to be watching next. So, and just little things like that. I have a couple pictures posted now of like when I went to visit the Myers house and the Nightmare on Elm Street house and all the locations from Halloween pretty much. I went all around Pasadena and saw those recently. It was such a great time to see all those in person. Um, I'm a little high off of just seeing Blade Runner 2049 because that movie was fucking amazing. But I'm here to talk about Jackals. This is currently on Amazon right now for 99 cents. It stars Stephen Dorff and Jonathan Sheck. Yes, the asshole from That Thing You Do. And many other things, like Jonah Hex from Legends of Tomorrow. And this was directed by Kevin Greuter, who did Saw 6, which is my favorite Saw. Yes, I'm a big fan of the Saws. He did also Saw 7. He did Jezebel, and he did Visions. And I've enjoyed all of those. I thought that they were all, Jezebel was a PG-13 movie, but I thought it was pretty good. I really like Sarah Snook, and it's pretty good for what it is. So I like the director going into this. This movie is about a family who hires a guy who reprograms people who are in cults. That man is played by Stephen Dorff. He goes out and he kidnaps their son to bring him back to their house to try to, talk some sense into him, to get him to leave this cult and all these things behind. And the cult shows up at his house wanting him back. I'm gonna get into spoilers in a minute. I'll try to get as much done here without spoilers as I can. I guess first thing I will say is this movie is okay. Not exactly sure. I think it's just kind of the things I'll talk about in spoilers. Why the problems I had with it, because there's certain things that happen in this movie that you just got to be like, okay, why didn't you do this? Okay, why didn't they do this? Okay, I hate to be that person who's just constantly like screaming at the screen, come on, just do that and do this. Like, I know what I do. I don't know what I would do, but there's certain things that just defy logic. And it's just like, I get that you love this person, or you get that, you're scared or whatever, but come on. It gets a tad annoying. I did like the opening. It kind of has a POV killer opening. Like Halloween, obviously. The acting in this movie is pretty good. I mean, there's highs and lows, but no one's terrible. So it's like average is the worst you're going to get. And then, Stephen Dorff's always on point. And Jonas Sheck is great as well. So, the two more named actors, they definitely do what they do. They're professional actors and they're solid in this. And then the other ones are just kind of like, they're good. I really like that. And this is because this movie has multiple villains. And I really like the look of the villains. Their masks and their outfits and the way that they're shot, the way that Kevin, framed them. Now, he overuses the shot, though. It looks good, but he keeps using the same shot. The light in the background illuminating, you can see it on the poster. I'll put the poster, I put the poster at the beginning of this, so you saw the poster. That you see that shot in this a ton. But I think what, multiple villains in a movie opens up is the ability for protagonists to, execute antagonists. There's so many horror movies that you watch. And Halloween. I always bring it back to Halloween because it's my favorite fucking movie, for one, and for two, because it's the perfect horror movie and there has so many things you can talk about in it. But there's so many times where Laurie could have fucking smashed Michael to death. And she drops the fucking knitting needle and she drops the knife, and you're just like, oh. And every time I watch it, I don't care how many times I watch it, and I'm like, Lori, pick it up and stab him. Stab him, stab him, stab him. Stab him in the fucking face. Cut his head off. But of course, when you only have, one villain in a movie, you don't have the luxury of killing them off. As soon as you kill them, which they never stay dead, but when you kill them, the movie's over. And that's it. So they have to do things. And within a movie that has multiple villains, 20 guys, 30 guys, 40 guys, whatever. Or even if it's like 3 or 4, something like that, like You're Next. That gives the characters luxury to kill a few of them. And that's what happens in this. When they when they're wrestling him to the ground, or they come in the house after him, they do not hesitate, and they kill them. And that's fantastic for me. The movie gets a little slow after the beginning. The beginning kind of opens with a bang, as I said, a little POV shot of this person going in this house, and that kind of, gets it going, and then it just like slows down. Now, there's a good amount of character development here in that area. I know a lot of horror fans don't like character development, but it has some. Ooh, no, character development. And I liked it, but that really kind of just brings me into, my spoilers of it. So I'm going to talk spoilers now because I have to. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and shut this off or pause it and come back if you watch it. So now getting into spoilers. Number one, why didn't Stephen Dorff, when he's tied up to that tree and the girl's coming at him, this Marine, this fucking, well-trained military guy, why didn't he at least try to kick her? Like, really? Your hands are up here, your feet are fine, and you didn't. And the odds of there just so happening to be a rope that comes down and and he happens to just look away right in the, come on. I mean, it's a film, so I can overlook it. It's just I always have to laugh. Like, do you know what the odds of that are? And there's just so many times in this film where you're just like, just give him to them. Why? Like, he's so far gone. And in the same instance, why don't they just come in the house? Like, there's no reason for it. They just want to intimidate and scare them and lose number. I mean, when they send like one person in, 2 people in, those people die. They lose member. I mean, I can't imagine this cult's all that big. So 1 member dying should be a big deal to them. I mean, this movie proves that losing 1 member from their cult is a big deal. They risk everything to come out to this rich person's house and take back 1 member, but they're willing to risk and give away 2. I mean, they kill at least 3 or 4 of them. So they came to get 1 and lost 3 or 4. Like, these people are fucking stupid. So they could have just all attacked the house at once, and this would have been 10 seconds long. Now, of course, that would make the movie stupid because it would, wouldn't be a movie. But it's just, there's no reason for it. Like, there has to be something. The characters don't talk, so you don't see any motives. You don't see anything. There's no rituals being performed. There's no, like, cultist activity going on to where it's like, oh, we're only going one at a time for, it doesn't need to be explained. I guess not. But for me, it just kept being like, why don't they just give him up? Or why don't they just all come in? It just went on for too long in that direction where I was like, I can't. This is so stupid. But anyway. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on it. Obviously, if you're still watching at this point, you've already watched it. So you don't need to hear if I think you should watch it. So anyway, I'm out.